All right, Rob, let's get to it. Big story of the weekend was that the Kansas City Chiefs, already struggling, got smacked around. Smacked around. And it wasn't just the defense this time. The defense been getting smacked around. But the offense against a defense in Tennessee that is, are they improving? Perhaps, but they are not a great defense by any stretch of the imagination. And Pat Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs could only muster 3 points, and they were beaten soundly 27-3. 27-3, Rob. It was ugly, and Pat Mahomes struggled. Patrick Mahomes, I know that's his official name, Patrick Mahomes. He struggled badly. His numbers, worst, probably, I don't have all his games in front of me. Got to be one of the 3 worst games of his career, if not the worst game of his career. He was 20 for 35, only 206 yards. That's 5.9 yards a play for him. That's
which is
horrible.
Crazy.
Right.
The numbers
no
are crazy.
Touchdowns and 1 pick. So his QBR, Rob, 6.
What?
6.0 was his QBR. So I'm going to say this, and I've picked the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. For the first time this season, Rob, I'm worried about them now. I got to be, after, the loss to Baltimore, no big deal, not worried. After the loss even to Buffalo, they'll be fine. They'll get it. Yeah, the defense is weak, but they'll get it together. Now, I'm not in panic mode, but whatever's below panic mode, distressed, disquieted, major concern, that's where I'm at. High alert. I do, and the reason I'm not in panic mode is, first of all, does this season, it's only one game they added, Rob, but doesn't it seem like this is just going to be a long season? And they're 3-4. Obviously, they still have a chance to reach the playoffs, probably as a wild card, but they still got a good chance to get in. And if they get in, it means they've righted themselves to some degree, and they'll be dangerous. So I'm not panicking, but yeah, I'm concerned. They got a lot of problems, and Patrick Mahomes has been one of them. He's still the least of my worries, but I got concerns about him too.
I think you're late to the party, Chris. I think that game against Baltimore, when they gave up an 11-point lead in the fourth quarter, which had never happened in the Patrick Mahomes era, was a sign of things to come. And I know it's easy. They got a track record. They won a Super Bowl, all those things. So you're always going to give a team like that the benefit of the doubt. But if you're just looking at the team and the eye test, something's not right. They went out. They spent a ton of money on defensive players. I think the second highest in the league, right, money-wise, and it didn't work out.
It got worse.
Right, they're worse.
At least to this point, yeah.
And I think, and whether it's fair or not, when a guy gets off to a start like Patrick Mahomes, Chris, and I get it, when you see the beginning, you just think he's only going to get better. Like, oh, my God, he's this good right out the bat. He's only going to get better. Everybody in Kansas City, they're going to the Super Bowl every year. Forget that Andy Reid has taken a lot of teams to the conference title games, but hadn't won a championship, right? Like, he did it in Philadelphia. They went like 4 times. So it wasn't like Andy Reid can't put a team together, but it wasn't like automatic. And I think everybody thought, here we go. They're going to run off all these wins. Patrick Mahomes took a team-friendly contract. They got better after the year. They won the championship. They brought back all their players. I mean, this is a juggernaut. He's going to win 5 MVPs. They're going to win 4 or 5 Super Bowls. He's the heir apparent. And now we look at it, and all of a sudden, none of that looks to be the case. And worse, they're not scary anymore. They're not. Not even Patrick Mahomes is the same anymore, where you feel like, how are you going to stop that guy? How are you going to beat them? No matter what happens, he's makeup, Chris. He's going to cover up the flaws and the blemishes, right? That's what great quarterbacks do.
He has done that, the last 3 years.
Right. Aaron Rodgers did it for years, Chris, with their defense. They never had a top 5 defense, but they were always in the playoffs.
Right.
Always a viable threat, despite not having the weapons defensively is what I'm talking about, right?
Right. You're right.
Right. And guys like that, quarterbacks like that, they mask a lot of stuff. And you think that a team is better than it is. I just don't think that in the AFC, and I'm not saying they're not going to make the playoffs or they'll never win again, but this is not the team that won the Super Bowl. This is not Patrick Mahomes who won the MVP. Things have changed with this team, and Chris, they got to get it together quickly because the AFC has some good teams. And you don't want to be at a disadvantage. And if they really, and I know the defense in the second half didn't allow any points, which was a good sign, right? But maybe Tennessee had already.
I was going to say, it's 27.
They did their thing. No, I get it.
Like, we're going to run the football.
We're going to run the football.
One thing Kansas City
they kept
did well
Derrick Henry under 100.
Right. That's the one thing they did well.
So,
is that they defended Henry well. That's it. And
which is crazy, and they still got run out of the building.
Second half, Rob, Tennessee was content to just run the ball, even if you're slowing
which
him down.
Which is what I would have done, too, if I was a coach.
Right.
You run the
Especially
football.
when that's their strength.
And I'll throw on third downs, Chris, when it's 3rd and 6 and I need a first down. But I'm not going to just get out there and just throw the football around. So, I mean, it is hard to look at the Chiefs and see where they are in such a short period of time and to think that Mahomes could have such a bad game. And you're right. Yesterday, we've been talking about it. You know, a lot has been the defense. He's feeling pressure to do some stuff. But yesterday, he was just bad. I don't know. I don't even know what else to say. He was bad.
Rob, what I saw Mahomes, and this is the first time in his career, obviously he hasn't had many down moments in his career, but I felt like he was caught. I felt like for the first time ever, he was second-guessing himself. I felt like in the first half, he was trying to make too much happen, as he's done throughout his career, right? And the play that I think everything turned and he began second-guessing himself was on that fumble in the second quarter. Okay. And you remember he was running. And
he was trying to get a couple extra yards.
Right. It was like you could almost hear, I felt like I could almost hear him in his head saying, should I slide? Should I slide or go for these extra yards? He went for the extra yards because they're down, and he fumbles. So I felt like, Rob, in the second half, for the first time ever to my eyes, he looked like he was second-guessing himself. Like, should I play to my instincts and make these crazy throws that I've always made? Or should I just be Mr. Cautious? Because I've been playing to my instincts, and I'm turning the football over.
Right.
And you know what I mean? So I think he was second-guessing himself. And so ultimately this could be good because he's got to, you know, this is the first time they've hit adversity. And first time he's hit adversity.
And at this
so
level,
that can always build you up. Right. That can always make you better if you respond right. Let me say this because you brought up Aaron Rodgers, Rob. And obviously, you know, I've said Mahomes is Jordan-esque. He's got GOAT potential. And I'm staying on that. One bad year, if that's what this becomes, doesn't ruin that. But Aaron Rodgers, when he got to the Super Bowl so early in his career as a starter, what was it, his third year as a start, fourth year as a starter, something like that? Rob G, get that for me. But we thought, right, Rob? Oh, he's going to a few of these. And he's still made later. But it's been a decade, and he hasn't even been back to the Super Bowl.
It ain't that easy.
Part of it's the defense. You know, he's not blameless, but the defense has been bad. Then let's go to Dan Marino, Rob, who many will tell you. He went his
second year, Chris. He went his second year.
Many will tell you those three I just named, Mahomes, Rodgers, Marino, best to ever throw the football. And Marino never won a Super Bowl. You said it got there his second year. So check this out, Rob. Marino, in his first 6 years, he led the league in passing yards 4 times in those 6 years, led it in touchdowns 3 times in those 6 years. And at that time, he went 48 in his second year when they got to the Super Bowl, 48 touchdowns, Rob. The record was Y.A. Tittle with 36.
What you think about that?
You know,
right.
I mean, it'd be like somebody throwing 70 right now, you know? And then he goes 44 2 years later to be the only other quarterback to go, or the only quarterback to throw for 40-plus touchdowns in a year. check this out. His last 11 years, Rob, never again led the league in touchdowns. Only threw 30, exactly 30, one time. Never threw more than 30 touchdowns. And led the league in passing yards once.
Wow.
So, I mean, he obviously is a great all-timer, Hall of Famer, all that. But his first 6 years were his best.
Right.
So you don't know, I'm not predicting demise for Mahomes,
no,
obviously.
But it's
it's possible.
It is possible that someone could get off to such a blaze of glory and things turn. And if the team's not right, and who knows how long Andy Reid is going to be there, Chris, there's a lot of stuff that starts to play in, and then you don't know. But anyway, it is right now they're on the outside looking in going forward. We definitely want to hear from people on this.